through Mile Hill over to the Dallas Pike area, as well as along the Fort Henry Bridge. Well, we're not really noticing too much in terms of falling flakes, but up on the higher elevations, up on the hilltops in the Highlands, does look like we could be seeing some patchy snowflakes. In terms of what we're seeing across Storm Tracker 7, dual HD Doppler radar, looks like some patchy snowflakes into Brooke, Ohio, as well as extending on into eastern Belmont, and those big shower activity looks to continue on as we head throughout your afternoon. Temperatures are hovering in the upper 20s, if not low 30s, and the rest of the day I do expect to see off and on snow showers continuing into the afternoon hours, but it does look like we're going to see another substantial wave of snow flurries as we head into the afternoon, if not the evening hours. We'll break down what you can expect with Predictor here in just a moment, but for now, we're sending things back over to you, Taylor.
All right, Zach, thanks. And take a look at this. If you live on the back streets in the area, it might be a good day to just stay inside instead of hitting the road. The interstate might be clear, but check these covered roads in the Woodsdale area. Roads are snowy and slick throughout the back roads in the area. A few things to remember: take it slow on secondary roads, and the best advice, if you don't need to go out, is just to stay home. It may seem counterproductive to get your car washed in the middle of winter, but there is a reason for that. ASAP Auto Care owner Larry Witzberger said salt can corrode your car in a number of different ways. If your car has any scratches, salt can get underneath the paint and corrode the metal. He said it can even affect your ability to stop a moving car by corroding your brake lines. Car batteries are also notoriously affected by cold weather, and Witzberger has some advice on how to avoid having to replace that.
Just got to be careful with your battery. You start your car, even if you're not going to go anywhere, start it every few days, because batteries do not like cold. Your batteries, you leave it set a week or two, and it'll be junk. You have to get a new battery no matter how new it was.
Witzberger recommends washing your car every 2 weeks to prevent your car from corroding. I'm a little behind. And in Bel Air Circuit's meeting tonight has been canceled due to the weather. Stay with 7 News and our website for more updates. And all new at noon, 355 new COVID-19 cases and 11 deaths have been reported in West Virginia in just 24 hours. This is the first time in days the state has seen over 300 cases. Right now, there are currently over 10,000 active ones. 149,000
West Virginians have been fully vaccinated. Governor Justice will hold his press briefing tomorrow. Stay with 7 News for updates. And staying in the Mountain State, Governor Justice says he's committed to solving the problem when his plans for the Game Changer initiative. A new partnership of groups are working together to develop a new way to stop students from using opioids. The state will work with the West Virginia Drug Intervention Institute as well as the Betty Ford Foundation. They're developing what they call a comprehensive and evidence-based approach to preventing substance abuse. We'll have an update on their plans later tonight. Looking across the nation now, wintry weather is delaying the push to get COVID-19 vaccines delivered around the country and into people's arms. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
Snow and ice covering Washington, D.C. streets forced President Biden to delay his trip to Michigan to visit a Pfizer manufacturing plant producing COVID-19 vaccines. The storm has already impacted major transportation hubs, delaying the shipments of vaccine doses and closing down vaccination sites in the hardest hit areas.
What we're encouraging governors and other partners to do is to extend hours once they're able to reopen.
But local leaders say there were supply shortages even before this week's storm.
Last week, we vaccinated almost 320,000 people. But I could be doing literally 500,000 a week if I had the supply I needed.
The president and vice president received a closed-door COVID briefing this morning as the administration continues its push to rally support for its $1.9 trillion relief package. Vice President Kamala Harris is meeting virtually with members of Congress and business leaders to discuss how the pandemic has disproportionately impacted women in the economy. Government statistics show since the start of the pandemic, more women have been laid off or left the workforce compared to men. And new numbers out this morning show unemployment claims rose last week with another 861,000 people applying for benefits.
Lawmakers say they are still on track to vote on the president's coronavirus relief package as early as next week in the House before sending it to the Senate for consideration. Some good news this noon. The health plan has donated $25,000 to the YWCA Wheeling's Family Violence Prevention Program. They say they are recognizing the increased need for programs to help those in need. Employees of the health plan also donated materials for the YWCA Wheeling's Survivors of Trafficking Empowerment Program. The materials will be placed into bags and distributed to help the recipient with positive coping skills. Employees also included words of encouragement and phases of positivity with the coping skills bag. For a full look, head to our website, WTRF.com. And all this month, WTRF has teamed up with Belmont Savings Bank to thank these hometown healthcare heroes. We're collecting donations that will be used to send meals and gift cards to staff at our area hospitals. If you'd like to help, drive through any of the Belmont Savings Bank locations or visit WTRF.com under the Living Local tab. And if someone you love works in healthcare, you could submit their photo and it may be featured right here on 7 News. Coming up, Zach has a full look at your forecast on this snowy Thursday, right up next.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This past year has been a challenge for us all. Red, yellow, black, and white. The pandemic has hurt us all. That's why I think it is interesting that it was a diverse group of scientists led by Dr. Graham and his close associate, Dr. Covert, an African-American woman who worked on this vaccine to help us all. I hope it says that together we can do anything. That's not just black history, that's American history.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey! Hey, buddy! Yeah! You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
You got it!
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure. I mean, you being a mountain climber and all.
Yep.
You probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for you Thursday. Mostly cloudy with snow showers on and off through the day. An afternoon high near 33. Snow showers continue through the evening and the overnight with a low near 26. Few flurries around for your Friday, otherwise cloudy with temperatures in the lower 30s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
and happy Thursday to all of you out there. February 18th. Boy, this month is gone. Halfway gone. Pretty soon we'll be talking about the Ides of March, then April Fools, then summer. Hopefully summer will be filled with a lot of sporting events where the fans can really enjoy being there, live and in color. But it seems like every time I change the date during the week for our next guest, it always happens to be on a day where there's a lot of news. And today is no different than Monday or last week. Ray Fittipaldo, a lot happening in football, right?
Bill, there is, and as you know, the NFL likes to keep it spinning every day of the offseason, so this year is no different for sure.
Yeah, Aaron Judge can get traded, and it would be second news to an NFL note, you know?
You're probably right.
Salary cap is $180 million. Last year it was $198.1. I did the math, thanks to the Associated Press, a 9% drop. Good news or bad news for the Steelers? I don't think it's good news.
Well, I mean, listen, Bill, that $180 million is just the floor. There is a good chance within the next couple of weeks that that number could go up. So don't count on that being just 180. It could be, the minimum is going to be 180. It could be 185 or even a little bit more. And as you know, with the Steelers cap situation, with Ben Roethlisberger, with, I think, 18 unrestricted free agents, anytime you have the salary cap go up even a little bit, you know, from 175 to 180 to, let's say, maybe 185, that's always going to be good news for the Steelers this year.
Yeah, you can tell Jerry Dulac that I was quoted concerning Ben. As I sit here, Jerry, Ben Roethlisberger's still on the team. I think Colbert stole that from me. No. I don't know, but the sound of this, you know, Colbert, he might have a degree in BS, but he's not going to come out and say, well, we're not happy with Ben what? He gives no guarantees. I still think Ben, who was quoted, 2 weeks ago by you or Jerry Dulac, is saying, you know, pay is not a big problem. I think it's always a problem. I mean, he's not going to work real cheap, like $1 million or $2 million a year to give the Steelers a break. Your comment?
No, I agree with you. I think he's willing to restructure that contract and do everything possible to allow the Steelers to build one last winning team around him. So I certainly think he's willing to do that. But, you know, Bill, Ben has never been a guy who has played on a hometown discount. He's never done it in his career. Maybe he would do it in this last year, his final year of his contract, but you know, Tom Brady took less for years to do it. You know, there's a chance that Ben would do it now, but I think the more likely scenario is they find a way to push this off into the future, free up a little bit of money to make Ben happy with some additions in free agency and whatnot, and then, you know, you go forward for one final year. But, you know, like Kevin Colbert said yesterday, there's a lot of work to be done. They got to figure out what that cap situation is going to look like, what that roster is going to look like, and, of course, what is that monetary figure that Ben agrees to play for in 2021?
Let's play the but game, B-U-T. But, Ray, in the last 10 years, when Ben had some great years, the Houston Texans won more playoff games than the Steelers.
3 playoff wins since the Super Bowl in 2010? Yeah, that's not good. And, you know, Kevin Colbert said it yesterday. He hasn't been good enough either. I mean, he is the man who is responsible for putting that roster together, and he took the blame yesterday. So, I mean, listen, you know, they have had more regular season success than playoff success. I mean, they always seem to be, you know, if not in the tournament, you know, contending for the tournament. But, you know, as Kevin said yesterday, that's not good enough, and especially for Steelers fans who are used to not only competing for Super Bowls, but winning Super Bowls as well.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's even said in the past, I've only had one good year. I'm disappointed in those other years. That one good year is when they won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You know, I know if you're a Steeler organization, it's either Super Bowl or bust. But, there we go again, but, you know, Steeler fans, they're spoiled. Penguin fans, they're spoiled. Pirate fans, they're upset. Okay, let's see, we took care of Ben.
We took care of the salary cap. What do you think of Carson Wentz going to the Colts, huh?
You know, Bill, I don't think that is a bad deal for the Colts. You're giving away your third-round pick this year, and then, you know, the way it works out, if they make the playoffs next year and Carson Wentz plays 70% of the snaps, they'll have to give the Colts a first-round pick. But if those two things don't happen, it'll just be a second-round pick. So, listen, if you think Carson Wentz has, you know, some juice left, I think he's only 27, 28 years old. I mean, you are getting that guy in the prime of his career, and now you have to, you know, sort of rebuild it, you know, rebuild his confidence and, you know, rebuild his game. But, you know, what better person to do that than Frank Reich, who, of course, was his offensive coordinator with the Eagles.
Yeah. Frank Reich might be the right coach for him. Ooh, that's a bad. Yeah, that's a bad line. Lola made that up for me. When he went to Indianapolis, first person I was thinking about was Frank Reich, you know, so. And that team's going to be a contender, so. And maybe Carson Wentz, you know, maybe just needed a new landscape, you know?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it happens. You know, I'm not sold that Philadelphia is going to be any better with Jalen Hurts, but it was kind of clear that, you know, there had to be a divorce between Wentz and the Eagles. He wasn't really on good terms with Doug Peterson. So, you know, now we'll see if a change of scenery helps the guy. You know, we all know he has talent. All the scouts and GMs loved him when he was coming into the league. You know, up and down performances the last, you know, couple of years, but we'll see if he can get it going again with the Colts. And Bill, you make a good point. They were almost a playoff team last year with Phillip Rivers. They got Jonathan Taylor. They got a good young offensive line. They got Darius Leonard on defense and some other pieces on defense. This is a team that could contend with a playoff spot if Carson Wentz has a good year.
Are they on the Steelers' schedule? I'm too lazy to look on my cell phone.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head, Bill.
Okay.
I do not know that.
Well, this is off the top of my head. I do remember some things. It's the third toughest schedule in the league, the Steelers?
Yeah, and listen, that's what happens when you finish in first place. They're going to have to play the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to have to play the Buffalo Bills, and those two teams played in the AFC Championship game last year. And of course, you know, people forget you got to play the Ravens and the Browns twice. And I think those two teams proved last year that they're certainly playoff teams. I think both those teams have higher aspirations this year than just getting to the playoffs. So it's going to be tough for the Steelers next year. I still think if everything goes well with that defense, they could still, you know, be 500-ish, maybe 9-7, you know, maybe contend for a playoff spot. But it's going to be really hard for them to duplicate what they did last year when they won the division.
Yeah, and, you know, a lot of those games are on the road, but there's a couple toughies at home. You know, I don't want to leave Cincinnati out of the equation because if Burrow is healthy and they make some additions because they got some cap money, they could win one of those two games against the Steelers. You never know with Cincinnati.
And they beat the Steelers with their backup quarterback last year, too, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't figure them out.
They beat Joe Burrow like 36-10, and they lost to Ryan Finley or whoever was quarterback.
Ryan Finleyville, right? Yeah. City was named after him. Finleyville. Okay. Well, it's not a city. It's a one stop sign area. Okay. Been there many times. A lot of beer gardens there, by the way. Okay. I like Frank Reich coaching Wentz, and I hope the salary cap improves a little bit because I would hate to be Kevin Colbert, Omar, his buddy, who counts all the beans and toilet paper. You know, they got a lot of work trying to fix these numbers because they might have a whole new look on that team next year, you know?
Yeah, and, you know, Kevin said it best yesterday. They knew this year, they built that team last year to contend for a Super Bowl. They knew it was going to be a challenging year to begin with all those free agents. And that was with a normal salary cap. Now with, you know, whatever it's going to be, a 9% decrease or you know, whatever it turns out to be, it's going to make that even more challenging. So they're up against it. It's probably Kevin's most challenging, most difficult offseason of his career. So we'll see if he can get it done here. Kevin's also in the last year of his contract. He's got to make up his mind if he has to keep working. Something tells me, Bill, he kind of wants to make this right with the roster before he moves on. I don't know if he wants to move on with a bad cap situation, a bad roster. I think he'd like to rebuild this thing a little bit before he finally sails off into the sunset.
And then, Omar, there's always people knocking at his door, too. So you just don't know. Maybe we could lose Omar and Colbert, down the road.
You could. And, Brandon Hunt is I think his title is Director of Pro Personnel. Other than Omar, he's probably the guy on the scouting side, who would be next in line to take that job. But, Brandon's been around for a while, but he's never actually been a GM, so we'll see what happens down the road. But they're going to have some tough decisions to make in terms of hiring Kevin's replacement when that time comes.
All right, finally, you want to play a little game with me?
Sure.
Let's play the what game. What? W-A-T-T. What are these rumors about Cleveland? Are they serious?
There's only a couple of contenders. I think Green Bay is in the mix. I think Cleveland's in the mix. I think Buffalo's in the mix. The Steelers, just because of his brothers. I think we all know the Steelers, probably can't afford him. But I think Cleveland is one of the destinations. If I was JJ and I grew up in Wisconsin,
Green Bay,
knowing that Aaron Rodgers is going to still be able to lead them and at the very least be in the playoffs, I try to chase a ring with him and not Baker Mayfield, but that's just me.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, he was a big Packer fan, Wisconsin guy, probably wore cheese heads along with his brothers when they were younger. Now they all eat Subway together. It's nice that he could play with his brothers, but there's always time to be with your family, and I just can't see the Steelers paying the price. He's not going to work for nothing. This is going to be his last contract, okay? He's already worth zillions of dollars and a lifetime supply of Subway sandwiches, which he would share with Lola and I, but that's okay. We could always buy our Subway sandwiches with coupons in the Sunday paper. But, I'd want to go back to Green Bay. It's a prestige franchise. You got a Hall of Fame quarterback. You could probably help that defense. You're really never out of a game as long as you got AR there. And, they're going to be a Super Bowl contender again.
Yeah, listen, they've been to the NFC Championship game the last 2 years. Something's a little bit off there. The coaching hasn't been great, in those two title games. But, listen, you add a guy like J.J. Watt, a guy who could rush the passer and, affect the other team that way. Like I said, that would be the way I would go. I don't think Buffalo would be a bad way to go either. I think they're going to be good for a long time, too. But, we'll see what happens. I'd be a little bit surprised if it's Cleveland, but, hey, you never know.
No, that would be strange, though. Twice a year at least, or maybe 3 times he'd be playing for the Browns against his brothers. That would be cool, too.
How about that?
Hey,
Yeah,
I got an idea for anybody at State Farm Insurance. You ready? You got Aaron Rodgers. You got Mahomes. Well, how about JJ there? All right, selling insurance. Then you could do a commercial like a good neighbor. JJ is there. You like that?
I do like
Wait a second. Lola, you didn't like that, did you? No. Okay.
You were just slightly off key on that one there. You sounded like Bobby Brady and his voice cracking.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I am cracking up, though. All right. But I like the new commercials. Have you seen it?
I have seen them.
That's pretty good stuff. That's pretty good stuff.
They're always good.
Yeah, right down the street we have a State Farm Insurance guy or gal. I want to stop by and I said, will you give me a discount if I tell you I'm a big Patrick Mahomes fan? Or where's Patrick? How about that? No, I couldn't do that. Yes, I could. All right, I think we covered all bases. I know you follow baseball, especially the Yankees with your son. What'd you think of that huge baseball contract with Tatis Jr.?
Oh, hey, I would love to have had that type of money when I was 22 years old, but that's all I could say.
Yeah. When I was 22, I was not poor, but struggling, but you know what? I had a good life, yeah. 22 years old, he's played in 140-some games, 39 home runs. He might be Lola hates it when I say this, the next face of Major League Baseball not named Trout. But you know what? In a few years, I don't know what kind of contract he has. He could opt out and make more before he retires.
Yeah.
But we all know it's one play and your career could be done. So more power to you. But you know what? I can't wait to talk to Greg Brown at 1. San Diego is a small market team. Where are they getting all this money? Remember Machado? Machado's making what? Or Machudo, whatever. I don't like him because he was a Baltimore Oriole, and he took out my guy, Dustin Pedroia. You think I forgot Biff? Biff is our Baltimore guy.
They went out and got some pitching, too. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, so it's not, the Dodgers are going to win this thing hands down. Watch out for that small market team called the Padres. The Pirates, well, we won't go there until 105 with Greg Brown. I'll probably get him mad and he won't talk to us again. He probably won't because he leaves for spring training. All right, Ray, we'll talk to you sometime next week. Keep me up to date on everything, and I'll use some of my contacts in Cleveland. You use some of your contacts in Cleveland, but might be a serious matter. I just can't see him playing in Cleveland. Green Bay, yeah. Get him out of the AFC, right?
There you go. That's true. Get him out of the AFC.
And, go back home. You grew up a Packer fan. I don't have enough guts to ask him, did you ever wear a cheese head, JJ? Because he might knock me on my butt. But you know what? Go back to Lambeau Field where you watched a lot of games as a kid. You can always have fun with your brothers, okay? All right. Thank you, Ray.
All right, Bill. Have a good weekend.
All right. Tell your son, go Yankees.
Will do.
All right. While we have a couple of minutes, let's go over the sports news. There's a lot of news. Can't wait for Saturday. 13th ranked West Virginia. We'll visit 12th ranked Texas. Speaking of Mountaineers basketball, a special guest coming up at the bottom of the hour. Deshaun Butler, one of the best shooters to ever wear a Mountaineer uniform. I got some interesting numbers involving Mr. Butler and some of the top shooters and scorers in the history of Mountaineer basketball, and there have been some great ones. Do I start with Mr. Hundley? Do I finish with Mr. West? No, I'm going to start with Deshaun. He's coming up. He is now an assistant coach with the Wheeling University Cardinals. I had a chance to watch him about 4 hours before the game last night, and I was impressed with the way he was working with each individual on the men's basketball team. From the top-notch guys to the guys that barely get into games, he was working with them, and I was pretty impressed. How did he get the job? Well, his good friend is Chris Richardson, because Chris was, I think, a reporter at WVU. And, Butler, I'll let him explain. He wants an opportunity to coach. My bottom line is, and I told the president last night, because we sit next to each other, I told the president of the college, I said, nice move. I said, this is a great move for recruiting. And she just gave me a big old smile. Yeah, Deshaun Butler walks into my house. That's pretty good convincing that I might want to be playing under him. So that's more to come, but we'll talk about his many battles. That big Final Four that he played in, if he didn't get hurt, they might have won a championship because they probably would have beaten Duke with a healthy Butler. And, of course, we'll get into Pitt versus West Virginia, and I'll let him win that battle, okay? We'll be back right after this on a variety show on a Thursday, February 18th.
My little girl hurt her foot and needed a doctor fast, but her physician wasn't available, and I wanted her seen as soon as possible. Then I remembered the Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care, right in downtown Wheeling at the Stone Center on Market Plaza. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, the center is ideal if you have a sudden sickness or injury. The doctors and nurses were great, and they also provided x-rays, a pharmacy, and lab draw station. No appointments needed, and convenient parking is nearby. Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care. They'll take good care.
Wheeling Coin and Hobby on 10th Street in Wheeling, next to the Bridge Tavern in downtown Wheeling, wants to buy any and all unwanted gold and silver jewelry. They are paying top dollar for 10, 14, 18, and 22 karat gold plus 925 sterling silver. They also want to buy collectible coins and paper money from before 1933. Wheeling Coin and Hobby is open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Coin and Hobby, 304-232-8430, and add them on Facebook.
When winter weather strikes the Ohio Valley, you can trust the Storm Tracker 7 weather team to help you plan your day. Our experienced meteorologists stay connected with you on TV, online, and on social. Get your weather information straight from a local source. We'll help you be prepared and make sure you'll never be surprised.
And we do expect dry conditions overnight, tonight, and all day tomorrow.
Meteorologist Dr. Dave Walker, Aaron Mylar, and me, Zach Petty, the Storm Tracker 7 weather team. Working
for all of your IT needs, visit omniperforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
Add a stylish look to your bathroom and save big money during Menards Race to Savings Sale. Max has more than 1,000 bathtubs, shower kits, and shower doors to add luxury to your life. U-Tile showers give you the realistic look and feel of tile and installs in half the time. Right now, the Halo shower is $1,879.99. Save big money now during Menards Race to Savings Sale. Prices are good through February 20th.
Save big money at Menards.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. The entire state of West Virginia saw several inches of snow out of the overnight weather system that moved through the state. The system, almost out of here, should clear the eastern panhandle in the next couple of hours. The National Weather Service has downgraded the winter storm warnings to winter weather advisories across much of the state for the afternoon. Meanwhile, the aftermath of now 3 winter storms is extremely evident in southwestern West Virginia. Shannon Looney lives in Cabell County outside Huntington, hasn't had power for 8 days.
We've spent a fortune in gas for the generator. We're cooking on a camp stove, using the fireplace to heat the house.
And she's not alone. Brandy Alexander and her husband and 3-year-old daughter had to leave their home after the first 2 days with no heat.
I've got a 3-year-old, so obviously we can't keep her there. So we bounced around for a couple of days, and then we finally, since there was no hotel rooms around the landing, which is graduate housing for Marsh University, they have a couple of rooms that they have opened up for folks in our situation. So we are in a little one-room place right now, but it has heat, so we're happy.
Her home is part of an outage that involves only 8 houses, and Looney's home has 14 outages on their circuit. Those smaller outages usually have to wait until the larger ones get the attention. Governor Jim Justice earlier today announcing the addition of Mason and Jackson County to the state of emergency declaration that he issued earlier this week for Wayne, Cabell, Putnam, and Lincoln counties. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Toyota today announcing it will invest $210 million to upgrade its existing engine production facility at its manufacturing plant in Putnam County. They will also be adding 100 new jobs, that to increase the assembly capacity of their 4-cylinder engine line. The 100 jobs will create a third shift at the plant to address the growing demand for the company's RAV4 engine production at the Buffalo site. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
WKKX and WVLY voted coolest couple in their high school yearbook.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads.
Well, I thought I made a mistake when I went to Wheeling University 5 hours before game time. I thought maybe I would get caught in a snowstorm or something. So I figured I'd go there, relax, have a cup of coffee, and, I'm watching this guy working with these youngsters out there. Lord and behold, it's Deshaun Butler. I knew he was hired as an assistant coach, but I kept watching him. He worked with all of the kids, whether you were the first 5 or the last 5. He was there to give you instruction. Great move by Wheeling University, especially when it comes to recruiting. Are you there? Are you there, Deshaun?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I'm hearing some interference. You're just playing with me because I'm a Pitt guy, right?
Of course.
Well,
Gotcha.
I'm not a
Of
Pitt
course.
guy because we carry West Virginia basketball on these airwaves. I love West Virginia. You know, I love Mountain Dew, Reese Cups. How are you, man? It was a pleasure meeting you for the first time, and I'm familiar with you because working at Pitt Radio Network, I love the trips to Morgantown, especially the Coliseum, where a basketball game there is fun. I didn't like when the guy was shooting a musket. Do they still do that?
Yes, they do, man.
Yeah, I want to go down there and
Next time
grab
you
the
come
guy.
back, be prepared.
Yeah, I
No,
wanted to go
grab
down there
the
and grab the guy, but I didn't want to be grabbed by 16,000 maniacs because you guys love your
Exactly.
basketball.
Exactly, and we love our Mountaineers. So we
Yeah,
don't
well,
want
I'll tell
to
you
do
what.
that.
A lot of Pitt people probably wanted to fire my ass, but I always look forward to the trips to Morgantown, whether it's football or basketball. It's a great sports town. All right, let's
Indeed
see.
it is.
I did some work with you, and also Bill Hillgrove. Bill's the one that told me, hey, he was one of the good ones that I ever faced. And he's had some good guys, Jerome Lane, Charles Smith, just to name a few at Pitt. But as far as opposing players, you were probably at the top of the list. He probably saw Jerry West play because Billy's like me, he's old. But you're third all time. Jerry West, 2,309 points. Hot Rod, 2,108 points. And some young kid, Butler, 2,095. That's pretty good credentials for an institution that's put out some great ball players.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I'm glad to be in good company. I was fortunate to be on a team where the guys on the team and the coach trusted me to get those shots. Man, I just did what I could, what I could do.
And from Bill Hillgrove, he said, I'm reading my text, Billy, he was first team Big East, second team All-American. That's pretty good stuff, Bill. Mr. Butler. Good stuff.
I mean, like I said, man, it was a lot of hard work and working with the staff and my teammates getting me where I needed to be, and I couldn't have done that without them. I mean, it helped that I made some shots, but I definitely couldn't have done it without these guys.
Yeah, and if you didn't get hurt, I think you would have beaten Duke and then won the Final Four. You agree?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with that as well. Since we're all talking hypothetical, so yeah.
Because wasn't it Hayward for Butler that threw that long shot from half court that could have won the game?
Yeah, he almost won that one, Gordon Hayward. But he's also another guy that's been playing in the NBA for forever, so you can see why he almost made it.
You played on a team that was well coached, of course, and one of your teammates is a guy I'm familiar with because I used to tease him and he used to tease me because he's a West Virginia guy, I'm a Pitt guy, Joe Mazzulla. You're following his tracks, man. He was an assistant at Fairmont. Next thing you know, he was the head coach there, and now he's with the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, Joe is an amazing coach. He's been, and not to fast track him or anything, but he was coaching for 10 years. So, all that hard work paid off, and he did everything right. He did it the right way, and he made his route, So if I'm even as half as lucky as Joe is to do that, I'll be happy with my career as a coach.
Well, there's a reason why I like the Celtics. I own three shares of Celtic stock. I was an intern. Well, we were called college assistants back in the early 70s. And I had a lot of fun with the Celtics. Havlicek, Cowens, JoJo White, it was just great stuff. And I try and watch as many Celtics games as possible because about 3 rows behind Brad Stevens, there is Joe. I even recognize him with the mask. That's a great move for him. And it's the start of maybe something big.
No, most definitely, man. Joe, once again, I always knew Joe would be a coach, just being how well he articulated things to the guys on the team when he played. And it was just no surprise when he decided, I'm going to coach and this is the path I'm going to take. And I would come back every summer and work out with him, and he would train me while I was playing professionally, and John Flowers and the other guys that came to go see him. And then seeing him with his players and how well he did, keeping up with his team over the years. Joe is one of those guys that prepared for this type of moment to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's even more prepared for the next step in the future.
Joe, when he was with Fairmont State, an assistant or head coach, would always come over to the scorer's table. We'd shake hands, give a hug, which we can't do anymore. And he'd say, does Pitt still stink? And I said, well, once in a while they got lucky beating you. He says, well, everybody gets lucky.
Exactly. The sun shines on
But
the
you
dog
know
every
what?
once in a
I know you're going to agree with me on this because we talked about it last night. Man, do I miss the Big East. You agree?
Yeah, definitely, man. It's the best college basketball conference that I've ever seen.
Well, that's because you like Madison Square Garden for 4 days, right?
Who doesn't? Who doesn't like New York? Who doesn't like a trip to New York toward the end of the season?
Oh, when I was working the Pitt Radio Network with Bill Hillgrove and Dick Grote, I would follow them around. They had the red carpet treatment to every bar in Manhattan, okay? I don't think they ever paid for a drink. All right.
Yeah, I wasn't that lucky. I didn't.
Well, no, you weren't allowed to drink. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
But Madison Square Garden is the mecca for college basketball. I don't care what they say down in North Carolina. I don't care what they say in Indianapolis. I don't care. And I wish West Virginia and Pitt, if they couldn't be in the Big East, maybe West Virginia. Thank you, Coach K, because it was because of you and Duke that West Virginia landed in the Big 12. Because I think when you look at the ACC, it's the Atlantic Coast Conference, right? Well, where's West Virginia?
Don't ask me, man. I thought we had a good chance of going there into the ACC, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
And we're in a great conference, so I'm glad. I think we would have won the ACC this year if we were there. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's teams like Florida State, even Syracuse with 6 losses. There's a lot of parity this year. North Carolina and Duke for the first time in decades, not in the top 20 in the Associated Press. But you know what? In the Big Ten, the bad thing there is for football and basketball, your closest opponent's about 800 or 900 miles away, so that's not good.
Yeah, man. And just thinking about those guys having to get, it's already tough enough that these guys have to make that kind of travel, and then they lose an hour when they come back, and then these guys are coming back at 3, 4, 5 a.m., and then getting up early to go to class. It's just tough for them, but they've been doing it the last,
4 or 5
8 years?
Yeah.
No, it's more than that. It's
8
years,
yeah.
I'm saying.
I don't know.
Yeah, so.
Hey, when you see Coach Huggins, since I can't get in his face because I wouldn't have a face left, get in his face and say, Coach, why is your winning record better on the road than at home?
I'll ask him today.
Okay.
So I'll ask him for you today.
What's wrong? You're supposed to win those games at home, man. That Oklahoma, I thought that was a W. Oh.
Yeah, honestly, I thought it would be as well, just based on the way our team is set up at this moment. But we can't take for granted what Oklahoma has. Lon Kruger is an amazing coach.
Yes.
He's been doing it for an extremely long time and successfully adding to that. And geez, they have great players. Austin Reeves, Moji Gibson, these guys can play. So I expected us to win. I honestly thought we would win between 2-3 points. I think the spread was 3 points or something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought we would win like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we had lost the game and it ended up turning that way because it's a good Oklahoma team.
Yeah, now
probably one of the better teams in the country.
Now watch them. They lose to Oklahoma. They'll probably go out to Texas and beat 12th ranked Longhorns.
Yeah, I hope we do. We got a nice little rodeo trip. That's what the Spurs used to call it, nice little rodeo trip when you got all these away games in a row. So they have a legit Texas road show they got to do.
Yeah.
TCU, Texas, and then I think they have Baylor. So I'm hoping the guys can stay mentally tough and stay together, be smart, and win those games, man. That'd be big for our program.
That Final Four we talked about, it was Duke, Butler, West Virginia. What was the 4th team?
Michigan State.
Oh, we got a Michigan State gal here. Lola, my producer.
Yeah, my guy.
She's all Michigan. You know how tough those Michigan players are. Well, believe me, she doesn't play basketball, but she's tough and ordinary,
Yeah. One of my teammates overseas, he played at Michigan State. He was at the Final Four. So she probably knows who Raymar Morgan is, hopefully.
Okay, now you played in Europe, right?
Yes, for 8-9 years.
Did you ever play in my home country, Italy?
Italy, I played in it. I didn't play for the entire season. We had a game or two, so we'd have to travel to Italy to play certain teams.
Is it true that a lot of American ball players really have it luxury over there with limos, nice hotels and stuff and accommodations?
Limos, I'm not too sure about, but the teams do a great job of taking care of the players, man. And literally, there's not much you can want for playing basketball overseas. Some organizations, I can't say all because I can't speak for every organization, but most organizations do right by the players and they take care of the guys. And the guys are pretty set up. So
Yeah, I don't know if you know him because he's a Pitt guy. I'm sure you know a lot of the Pitt guys, but Brad Wanamaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Brad
found
is awesome.
he found success in Europe. He said, "Yeah, I made a lot of money." All right.
Yeah, no, honestly, like and Brad, by the time when I first got overseas, Brad had been overseas, I think, for 2 years. He was like the best point guard in all of Europe.
Whoa.
And that helped him out when he came back over here. I mean, they recognized his resume. They saw what he can do and what he can bring to the Celtics. And then he was there for 2 years, and now he's with the Warriors. I mean, Brad is an amazing basketball player. So.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Hey, you're saying something good about a Pitt guy. I like you, man.
That's the only one I will because he helped me win a D League championship. So
Okay.
Brad is awesome. Brad is an awesome guy, man.
Yeah. Well, you're good, but you're not as good as my friend Charles Smith. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever gets you to sleep at night.
Yeah, I had to ask you about playing in Europe because I read a lot of good things about guys that go over there and play ball and make a lot of money, and they're worshipped like heroes over there, and so.
Yeah, I mean, most of those countries, like when you go to a country like you just mentioned, Italy. I mean, Italy has a first division, a second division, similar to like the NBA, where you have your NBA, you have your D League or G League,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean that's their NBA. So all the people in the country are watching Italian basketball. They watch EuroLeague as well, like the bigger leagues as well, and they watch the NBA as well too. But like their country's basketball is like their NBA, so those people are very attentive to what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's every country, whether it be Germany, France, you name it. So, the guys that go over there are treated very well for the most part by the fans, depending on who your team is.
Yeah.
And, you end up making a new home out of, a home away from home.
Yeah. Lots of pasta, right?
Tons, in Italy at least.
Yeah. I know. I used to watch the games with my sister until my brother-in-law would switch it over to soccer. I would say, Pasquale, you've watched this over and over again because they watch replay and replay and play.
Man.
Yeah, he didn't like basketball, so it was his house that I was staying in, so he had control of the TV. But
respect the house, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I did respect the house, but a couple of times I did watch Italian basketball. I was, trying to make out how the broadcasters were saying like foul and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah. Okay. Man, it's great to have you at Wheeling University, and I'm sure.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm sure. I mean, if you walked into my house and my kid was a good player, you know what? You almost have me 80% sold that he's going to go to Wheeling or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll make sure I won't say anything, man. So I ruin it. I'm joking. I'll just be extremely quiet. So,
hey, what's your relationship with Coach Chris?
Coach Chris, I went to college with Coach Chris. He had a ton of mutual friends, especially one of our grad assistants, Mark Richmond, who's coaching at Notre Dame right now. I mean, I've known C. Rich since I was 18 years old. So once again, like when the opportunity came, I came back home and I decided to retire. I was just sending my resume all over the place trying to find a job if possible. And it's, me, obviously, my timing is impeccable because I'm trying to find a job in a pandemic where people don't have jobs. So I was very shocked to even get a call back. I kind of chalked this year up like, all right, well, I'll wait till the season's over and then continue to, get my name out there and go meet people and shake hands and, build these relationships with these coaches. And then C. Rich ended up getting back to me, and I ended up being able to come up and see the guys practice. And then I hadn't heard from him in a while. And once again, same thing. I just assumed, all right, well, this is not going to be in the cards. Let me continue to, stay sharp and read and do all these things. And little did I know, I got a phone call and everything was in motion. And I was able to come up and help. And I'm very, very fortunate for the opportunity. The president, she was more than happy to have me up there.
You was knocking on all doors, and you just happened to knock on the right one, right?
Yeah, man. You don't quit. You don't quit on your dream, man.
Well,
stick with it and stay the course.
What is your dream down the road?
I mean, I want to coach, man. At the end of the day, I want to coach the best players I can possibly coach and make the guys the best that they could possibly be. It doesn't matter where that may be. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basketball. I love the game of basketball. I love helping people. That's like one of my things in general. So if I can help, whether it be D2, D1, anywhere in college, anywhere in the pro, like if I can help anyone be their best self on and off the court, I mean, obviously wins and losses are important, but like why we get into coaching is just to make better people. I mean, we're trying to, this is a metaphor for life here. Like, we love the sport, we love the game, but it's about more than just the basketball sometimes.
Yeah, I don't want to put you in the corner, all right?
Please don't, but go ahead.
But there's been a lot of talk about paying college athletes. You think college athletes should be paid, especially football or basketball?
I feel like there's something that should be done for the kids. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Like, why would I played. I wish that I had an opportunity to make some of the money from the random guys that sold shirts that said the Butler did it when I was in college. Yeah. I never saw any of that stuff, and I feel like everybody kind of got a ton of those things, like a ton of money made off of these scenarios from all college kids. Yeah. I'm sure Steph Curry could have made he's making tons of money now, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, I'm sure guys could have, not tons of money, but make something off of their likeness or things that were going on. So I'm not opposed to that at all. Like,
okay.
As long as there's a line to it. You don't want to just have you throw tons and tons and tons of money at these individuals, because it takes away from the purpose of what we're doing. And it's just about, helping these kids graduate college and helping them become better people. You don't want to cloud that with money all the time. Money's good, but it's not the end-all, be-all for these kids who are going to college to get an education and become better people.
Lola can chime in on this. Well, I'm going to go back to the Fab Five of Michigan.
Cool.
There was a problem with pizza or something, and they got into trouble. But yet they were making, what was the number one selling jersey? Was it Jalen Rose?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, they were making millions off of these players, and the players couldn't even have a pizza and a slice of Coke bought by Bill DeFabio.
Exactly.
That's not fair.
Well,
no, it's definitely not fair, and that's why I said it'd be awesome for these rules to get adjusted, and they have been getting adjusted since the time I was in college till now. Yeah. It's like almost like wow, like I couldn't even imagine having some of the things these guys are getting now, but there's still some adjusting that can be done relative to like with the time we're in right now. I mean, there's tons of things we can fix and adjust and help these kids. And get these kids what they're owed in a sense. I mean, I feel like they bring a lot to the university. They do a lot for the universities that they play for. So there should be some type of thing waiting for these children these men and women when they're finished their career.
Okay.
I keep saying children. Terrible. I got kids, Mom. I keep saying children.
Let's hear from Miss Michigan.
Well, I remember particularly with the Fab Five, the NCAA waited so long, too, to issue any punishment that those kids were gone, well, those young men were gone, and the team that followed, I think like 2 years later, were the ones that were penalized, and the NCAA really needs to step up there. They need to come out of the dark ages. And I was really hoping when those Northwestern football players filed suit trying to get them to allow them to unionize so everybody would have equal insurance before and after they got out of school. And of course, that got thrown out of the courts too. But, I was really rooting for all the athletes, whether male, female, from the football and basketball teams all the way down to the archery team, to be able to at least recoup something. Because it's not right to have your face all over, or your name, all over shirts and jerseys and all kinds of things, and you don't see a dime of it.
Yeah, most definitely. I totally agree with you. I mean, you think, these athletes aren't really allowed to have jobs during the year, so they can't make their own money themselves. Yeah, there are scholarship checks, but those things cover basically living and a little bit of your food, and it's just a matter, at the end of the day, these individuals are an extension of the school, similar to like teachers in a sense, or the people that work at the university, the staff there, and they bring in a lot of money, and depending on what sports you're talking about. But like you said, all sports, it's important to have something set aside for these players, and unionizing would be a good idea. I think that's not a bad. It doesn't sound too bad. I would have to look into it some more. I don't know too much about what Northwestern did, but more or less, it sounds like it was on the right terms and making it a little equal playing field, more or less, for the players. I mean, you want to include everybody in as far as making sure guys are taken care of the right way. And I think the coaches, for the most part, are doing the best they can within the rules to help these guys and women the right way. And just so much you can do with your hands in a sense tied behind your back in that scenario.
Yeah.
With the
Hey,
NCAA.
you've been fortunate. You played for both Beeline and Huggins, right?
Yeah, man. I had Coach Beeline for a year, and I had Coach Huggins for 3.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, I got this idea. You ready?
Ready.
All right. Let's close your eyes. I win the Powerball. Righty? Okay?
Yeah.
I donate money to the MEC, $2 million. If they make an exception, and you can put on the jersey and play against West Liberty next week. How's that? We got to beat those Hilltoppers. They're too good.
Oh, man, they're a very good team, man, and they're very well coached. They're very fast-paced, man. I felt like we played the game last game. We did a good job in the first half managing the press. And, you know, like I said, you play against good teams. You have to play almost perfect the entire game. You can't have little mistakes, and you can't have these little mistakes build up over time. And I felt we had a lot of these little mistakes build up in the second half, and it was at an opportune time where they ended up, you know, just going on an incredible run. So I feel we'll be a little bit more prepared the second time around. And, I mean, give them credit, man. It's the reason why they've been winning in this league for a long time, and they're very well coached. They have a great culture there, and we're building our culture right now here under Coach Richardson. So I pray that we can be one of these teams that can, you know, in a couple of years, people will be talking about us like that.
Yeah, well, you know, my kid went to West Lib. 5 years, 4.5 years, paid cash for his education. I don't know if that money went to the basketball team, but I can't hate West Liberty. So I wish them well, except for twice a year, and you know who that means.
Exactly. You know how that rolls. You know how that goes.
And like in the good old days, sometimes they would meet 3 times a year. But one last question. You got 1 minute to answer it. There's a lot of parity this year in the conference, isn't there?
As far as what?
Well, you got Fairmont State that's pretty good. You got more than just a couple schools. Almost anybody on every. I couldn't believe the Hilltoppers lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, man. I mean, geez, I like, let's say, Fairmont State, you have Charleston, you have the Hilltoppers. Like, these are, right now, the 3 teams at the top of the league who are doing very, very well. You have other teams that are good as well. I mean, we won the game against Frostburg last night, but Frostburg is, like, extremely talented from and all their starters. These guys can score the basketball from every position in a sense. And the league is just a very, very good league so far this year that I've seen. Okay. And I watched a ton of it before I even got here. I watched some games at Glenville State, and I watched Aldous and Broadus. Like, they're good teams and have really good players. So any win that is gotten this year is a very good win because,
Deshaun, we got to go. We're up against the news break. Let's do this again. Thank you for coming to the Wheeling area. You're quite familiar with all the Mountaineer fans and Pitt fans. Hey, teach those youngins how to play ball, because when you played ball, you were one of the best. Okay? Thank you, man.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Miss Michigan. I love you. You guys have a good day.
Hi. What a cool guy. Deshaun Butler. We'll be right back and talk baseball with the voice of the Pirates, Mr. Greg Brown.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Another layer of snow and cold blanketing much of Texas as utility crews scramble to restore power so far to more than 3 million homes and businesses in just the past 24 hours. About 500,000 customers are still waiting, though. Clean water, also a concern. In Galveston, Texas, Mayor Craig Brown says they're working to help ease the pain there.
We're bringing water in today. The human suffering, though, that is occurring through this is very, very concerning.
Officials blame an outdated power grid that wasn't properly winterized on the power crisis. Democratic leaders today touting the Biden administration's upcoming immigration proposal that will include providing a path to citizenship for millions of undocumented immigrants. Democratic Representative Linda Sanchez.
Immigration reform is intensely personal. I am the daughter of immigrant parents from Mexico. They came to this country and they worked hard and they sacrificed every day to provide for me and my brothers and sisters.
Also on Capitol Hill, GameStop making a full stop, a hearing underway on the company's wild stock market ride.
The CEO of the retail investment platform Robinhood is testifying after GameStop's stock price soared 1,600% and Robinhood's decision to halt buying the stock and others on its platform. The co-founder of the social media message board Reddit will also testify after Reddit was the catalyst that led to the surge in trading. The episode has been portrayed as a victory for the little guys over Wall Street titans, but not everyone is buying it. Lawmakers from both parties are among the skeptics. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
NASA's Mars rover Perseverance expected to land on the red planet in just a few hours, but first it has to land in what NASA calls the 7 minutes of terror. ABC's Gio Benitez.
It's going to battle a fiery 2,300 degrees of heat on entry, and it has to do it all on its own because there's a major delay of 12 minutes. So
the rover launched last July and has traveled 125 million miles. You're listening to ABC News.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
In India, thousands of protesting farmers have been blocking trains by sitting on tracks in parts of the country. They're demanding that the government repeal new ag reform laws. Farmers say that the laws will help big business and leave them worse off. Australia is set to roll out its COVID vaccine program starting next week.
The program will begin in every state and territory and target first the elderly and vulnerable. Australian Health Minister Greg Hunt.
That program begins with a focus on those who are most vulnerable, either the risk of catching COVID-19 or the consequences if they were to catch COVID-19.
First to get the jab, thousands of nursing care residents across 190 towns. Frontline healthcare workers in quarantine and border staff will receive their first shot at 16 regional hubs. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Serena Williams fell in straight sets to Naomi Osaka in the semifinal of the Australian Open. After her loss, Williams put her hand on her heart, acknowledging the crowd. She was asked if that symbolized a possible farewell from the sport.
I don't know. The Aussie crowd is so amazing, so it was nice to see.
Some people wondered if you were almost saying farewell.
I don't know. If I ever say farewell, I wouldn't tell anyone, so.
Osaka will face American Jennifer Brady in the final. This is ABC News.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying during times when they really can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
She says her gums are irritated.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Advanced Gum Restore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, New Crest Advanced Gum Restore. It detoxifies below the gum line to restore your gums back to health in just 7 days.
Healthy mouth.
Exactly. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
New Crest Advanced Gum Restore. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Island Pawnbrokers is now your local firearm dealer. In a pinch? Need cash quick? See us before going to the big box stores. Paying top dollar for firearms, gold, silver, tools, coins, and electronics. Don't lose your good credit. Let us give you instant cash. Stop by 2 North Broadway Street on Wheeling Island, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Island Pawnbrokers, Stop in for instant cash.
Save big money on your home improvement projects now during Menards Race to Saving Sale. Stop in for the best selection of thermostats. Keep your home's temperature comfortable through every season while saving energy with a new Honeywell thermostat. Pick up the programmable thermostat that lets you have separate settings for weekdays and weekends. Right now, it's only $21.99. Save big money now during Menards Race to Saving Sale. Prices are good through February 20th.
Save big money at Menards.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Mostly cloudy with snow showers on and off through the day. An afternoon high near 33. Snow showers continue through the evening and the overnight with a low near 26. Few flurries around for your Friday, otherwise cloudy with temperatures in the lower 30s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
Hello, baseball fans. My name is Fernando Tatis Jr. I just bought the radio station, and I'm going to give my next guest, I'm going to have triple his salary. Mr. Brown?
Aren't you gracious?
Yeah.
Triple my salary.
Yeah. Will you still make a
quit,
buck?
You could quintuple my salary, and you would, you wouldn't see a dent in that.
Okay. You mean you're not making Vince Scully bucks when he was famous?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But you know, I saw a couple tweets last night regarding that massive contract that he signed. Do you know he's going to pay something like $170 million in taxes?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Do you also know that I don't know, you have the information in front of you there in terms of how long the contract, till 2035, is that right?
Yeah, I'll be dead by then, but go ahead.
Do you know that Bobby Bonilla's contract runs through 2036?
He's still getting $1 million a year?
Yep.
What bozo signed that deal?
His contract will still be going on even after this Tatis contract expires.
Oh, Bobby Bonilla, God bless him, man. What a deal he signed.
The greatest in history.
Who was the GM? Do you remember? I don't.
My guess is it is the guy that Steve Phillips, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, all right. Boy, oh boy, I didn't know that. Where'd you come up with that, man? That's good stuff.
Isn't that wild?
Oh.
Can you imagine that? As massive as this contract is, Bobby Bonilla, thanks to the New York Mets, is going to be paid $1 million a year, even beyond the Tatis contract.
Yeah. When you first heard of it. Now, let's remember, San Diego is a small market team, and they got Machado for $300 million. They went out and got some good players and paid him big bucks. For a small market, were you surprised that they paid that much money for a 22-year-old shortstop?
Well, I've been surprised at what the Padres have been doing for the last, I think, going on 2-3 years when they signed Eric Hosmer to a big contract.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
A couple years ago, the first baseman. People were like, what are they doing? The Machado deal. And in fact, I had to a degree, a random cocktail hour with some Bucco fans the other day in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. Get together with a handful of fans that have kind of followed me on Twitter, and I promise that I'll buy as long as we keep it civil, and as long as whatever we talk about stays there. And I always tell them, I said, one of the biggest prerequisites before I begin talking or debating, whatever I say stays here, and if it goes outside of this establishment, if I hear it elsewhere, I will deny it until my last breath. I said, I will say you're lying. So whatever we say here stays here. And somebody brought that up. That, they said, you're always talking about how small market teams can't afford. Well, look what the Padres have done.
Yeah.
I have said there are teams in sports, but mainly baseball because there's no salary cap. There are occasions where ownership will spend beyond its means. There's no question about that. That does happen on occasion. But the vast majority of the time, when a team like the Padres is doing what it is doing, when they decide to go ahead and spend beyond what they're taking in, what the revenues are, it comes back to bite them. And I said, they better win a World Series, or at least get to a World Series in the next couple of years. Because if they do not, you watch, I guarantee you, this has happened time and time again. It's been going on for 50 years. If they don't get to a championship game and recoup some of that money that they're spending, you will watch a mass exodus occur. They will start selling off players.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. And they still have to compete with the Dodgers, who like to spend money, right?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Now, are you telling me that that at any time in the near future, based on paper, the Padres are better than the Dodgers? I mean, I would think the Dodgers are prohibitive favorites to win the National League West. Not to say the Padres won't get in the postseason, and maybe that's what they're banking on, that they get in, and it's kind of a roll of the dice. But again, it is a big roll of the dice to spend this money that they're spending. There was one caveat to that, Bill, and I think we've talked about this before on this show, I think, is the Padres are now the only game in town.
Oh, that's right.
There's nothing else in San Diego. The Chargers are gone. The Clippers are gone. The only game in town is the Padres. So that entertainment dollar it zeroes in on the San Diego Padres during the summer and fall and spring. And that's, again, in terms of professional sports, of the big four, the Padres are it. And that has to help Padres ownership a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah, well, you still got the zoo, but you can't go there every day, right?
That's true. Yeah, the Padre clubhouse is becoming the zoo with all these guys their sons.
Oh, yeah. Good luck to the manager with all the egos. Hey, you talk about big money spenders and not going to the World Series. The Yankees spend a lot of money. When was the last time they were in the World Series? 2009?
It's been at least that long.
Yeah.
It sounds right. Yeah, I mean, and they're a team that spends so much money that they almost have to win a division and go to a World Series. And, there's no guarantees with them. And I know, time and time, again, just my recent experience was this other day when we had this little roundtable discussion, and I heard it all. I understand it. Roll of the eyes. There you go again.
Yeah.
Same old Pirates. But, the Pirates had that run of 12, 13, 14, and 15. I include the 2012 season in that because, if you remember, the Pirates were well on their way to going to the postseason in 2012, but had an epic collapse in September.
Yes.
Epic collapse. I mean, historic. So, but for 3/4 of that summer, they were as good as anybody in the league. So anyway, so they had that 4-year run, and they did it based on this blueprint of other teams, like the A's and the Rays in that small market arena. And then they kind of got away from this idea that we're trying to win a championship. Instead, the Pirates said, what we're trying to do is just kind of stay above water, in so many words. We're trying to maybe reach the playoffs, at least hover around that 500 mark, which I was all for. I like that idea, that at least, as they said, have some meaningful games in September. But we have found out that that's really hard to sustain. And then they had the 16, 17, 18, 19. I don't even include the 20 season. I think that's just an aberration, the 20 season.
Did you tell your fans about Tampa? They don't spend big bucks, but yet they seem to be in it all every year?
Absolutely. I pointed that out because then they started getting into this discussion. It started getting away from spending money, and they started saying, well, when are they going to start developing players, these first rounders, and with the draft pick? I said, bingo! Now we can talk. Now you're zeroing in on the problem for the Pirates organization the last few years. It's not the money being spent because, to your point, look at what the Rays have done. Look at what the Oakland A's have done. Look at what a couple of other smaller market teams have done. They still compete. And the Rays, the most recent example, actually went to a World Series. And it's not because they spent a ton of money, because they didn't spend much more than the Pirates last year. What it is smart drafting, really good developing, and very sharp and methodical trade transactions. And those three areas, the Pirates failed miserably.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Our old friend Bill Brown, who was there when the Astros lost, 2 years in a row, over 100 games?
Yeah.
But they were building a winner through the minor leagues.
Yep. Now, people are saying that's what you're trying to do. I don't agree with that. I don't think the Pirates, and I don't remember what the Astros, I don't think any team tries to finish last. It's just not possible. That's too much of a conspiracy theory. Those players are out there trying to win. How do you try to lose? When you're a professional athlete, there's no way you go out there, unless you're being, the Chicago Black Sox, 1919, and you're Shoeless Joe Jackson and those guys. You're not trying to lose, but it's all part and parcel to basically tearing down a foundation and starting from scratch and building up the farm system. That's what the Astros did. They had a couple of big first-round picks that they cashed in on, and that's what the Pirates have to do. I mean, in this coming summer, this July, it'll be fascinating to see, do the Pirates go with a college pitcher, either Al Leiter's son or Kumar Rocker at Vanderbilt, two college stud pitchers, or there's a high school shortstop that they say could be the next maybe Bryce Harper. Which way do you go? The Pirates get that very first pick, but they can't miss. And too many times, first-round picks missed, unfortunately, for the Pirates. And there was some bad luck involved, too, don't forget. I mean, the Jamison Tyone situation, that's bad luck. Two Tommy John surgeries. That cost them dearly.
Your people, did they talk about, Mr. Brown, and this is in closed meeting, whatever, but we can discuss it. What do you think about the salary cap?
Oh, yeah. That was one of the first things they said. No salary cap. And I said, I get that. And I understand that, in the ideal world these days, sports world, the salary cap is a nice thought. I don't think it's ever going to happen. The only way I think it would happen is if there's a work stoppage, a strike, and that's a terrible scenario. That's going nuclear, because remember what happened in 1994, and baseball took a terrible hit for that. And it's not like, they said, well, hockey did it. These my buddy said. I said, don't compare baseball to hockey. There's no comparison. Hockey is a distant fourth among the big four. Football, the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball are the top three by far. The NHL is a distant fourth. The the NHL had to have a work stoppage because it's not a TV sport. The only way hockey can survive is with fans in the arenas. Yep. It's the only chance. Yep. It's not a TV sport. It's not made for TV. You can't see the puck. You remember when Fox tried about 20 years ago to do what I thought was ingenious, but the old school hockey people ripped them so badly it lasted maybe half a year when they put the digital flame on the puck.
Yeah.
So when you were watching TV, you could see the flame. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, but I guess some people didn't. Yeah.
No, most people balked at it immediately until they had to quit. But the point of that was, you can't see the puck on television. You can't see it. When a puck is shot into a net, a slap shot, or there's a scramble in front of the net, the only way you know a team has scored, on a rare occasion you might see a goaltender get so far out of the area, the net area, that you can see the puck go in. But 90% of the time, that puck goes in so quickly, the only time you know it is when the announcer says it because he sees the goal light go on.
Yeah.
So what Fox was trying to do was allow fans and make it more of a TV sport. It's the only sport on television where you can't see the object of the game. Most of the time, you can't see that puck. Anyhow, we're getting off the big track, but the point is that hockey is not a TV sport. You can't compare hockey to baseball. So hockey had to have the work stoppage to allow for small market teams to compete. And baseball, it may end up being that, but until it ever happens, if it ever does happen, you've got to be smart, and the Pirates have to be smarter than they have been over the last few years.
And auto racing at times has better ratings than hockey.
Yeah. I like Jason Mackey. I'm going to mention this to him when I see him in Florida. I think he's a tremendous writer.
Yes, he is.
Post-Gazette, Pirates beat writer. I think Pirates are now fortunate. They've had a number of beat writers who they've kind of gone through the circuit, but now I think Jason is really a college pitcher. I think he pitched at Mercyhurst, I believe, or Westminster. Mm-hmm. At any rate, so he knows the game. He's good. He's sharp. He's not a Pollyanna. He works hard at it. But the other day he wrote a story about baseball, the economics of the game, and he mentioned something about how baseball is third in around the country now, behind football and basketball. And he said in many cities, or some cities, it's actually trailing hockey. Well, by that argument, football in some cities is trailing baseball. I mean, in New York, do you think people care more about the Yankees or the New York Jets?
Oh, the Yankees. They don't even care about the Giants.
Of course. Or the Rangers.
Or the Rangers, yeah.
I mean, it's not even close. So that's a bad argument. And he brought that up because his point was in Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh, like every other city, is no different. It depends on if you're winning. And when the Pirates were winning in 12, 13, 14, 15, it was neck and neck with football and hockey.
Yep.
Just depending on the day of the week. So again, it's a bad argument, and Pittsburgh and every other city, when their sports team wins, they're number one. When they're not winning, they trail in the ratings and they trail at the box office, and that's been like that forever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't feel bad for him. But Mario Lemieux, he needs seats in the stands because that's where they make their money, and they're not getting it from TV revenue, and we don't know what kind of contract they have for the future. Okay, we got about 3.5 minutes. Tell me about the latest additions. One was a left-hander named Anderson.
Yeah, Tyler Anderson was a first-round pick, which, is a smart thing to do. He's a first-round pick of the Colorado Rockies. You know how tough it is to pitch in the Mile High City.
Yep.
Pitchers just don't survive there. And he bounced around a couple teams, most pitchers in the Giants, left-hander. I think he signed like $2.5 million.
It's hard hearing you, Greg. Hello?
Yeah, I say, you hear this?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I said it's very under the radar. And in fact, it's in terms of Major League Baseball free agent signings, more under the radar than most. But these are the kind of savvy moves that I think a guy like Ben Cherington has to make.
Yeah.
And I think he's looking for a kind of a bounce-back season, a left-hander at PNC Park, a division, frankly, where the starting rotations of each team have major flaws. And I'm not saying that the Pirates are going to win the division. There's little chance that would happen. But I don't think they're going to be as bad. I mean, I saw, like somebody suggest they're going to lose 105 games. I don't believe that's going to happen. I think they're going to win more than people suspect. And I think it's going to be because of moves like that. And one thing, too, Bill, it's going to be a fascinating year. Keep in mind, you know the way it's been for the last quarter century, where these general managers and these managers have to watch every inning of these starting pitchers. They're very concerned about innings and pitch count. And so every year they look to build up these pitchers. So one year, if a guy pitches 150 innings, he's not going to pitch 250 innings the next year. It's going to incrementally, it's going to increase gradually. Well, last year, because of only a 60-game schedule, no pitcher pitched more than 120 innings.
Wow.
So what's going to happen to all these pitchers? It's going to be a disaster as these innings build up. Pitchers could be going down left and right. This is something we've never seen before. We go from 60 games to 162 games. Watch what happens. Injuries are going to pile up amongst position players, but especially among starters. And general managers are scrambling to find anybody that can pitch innings. There are aces that 2 years ago, Justin Verlander, 2 years ago, if he pitches 250 innings, he's not coming close to that this year.
No, you're right. You're right. Hey, Greg, we're running out of time. We hope to abuse you while you're in spring training to give us updates, if that's okay with you.
Yes, it's okay with me, and I understand that you're going to abuse John Wayner too, which is also okay with me.
Okay, all right. Well, sometimes.
And by the way, I swear to you on my Steve Blass Bible, I am holding a Steve Blass bobblehead as we speak that has your name on it.
Hold on. I think my heart's coming out of my chest. Hold on. Oh, that's great news. Thank you, Greg. And I got your number 21 Wild Things Clemente official jersey.
I might have to take a picture of this and text it to you just to let you know, because I don't know if I'll see it between now and the time I head to spring training.
Okay, and I'll take a picture of Clemente's 21 Wild Things jersey.
Very good.
All right. Hey, enjoy the warm weather. Don't remind us how nice it is down there. Okay?
I will.
Oh, by the way, AP just had the story about Bonilla, so you beat AP on it.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
See you, Bill.
Bye-bye. Yeah, AP just had the story about Bonilla, still making $1 million a year, even after the Tatis contract is over. Boy, the guy that Steve Phillips, he's supposed to be a good baseball guy. Why would you give somebody a contract like that? Okay, we got to take a break. When we come back, Ryan Tucker will be with us to give us an update on some events in the city, all right? Right on the Variety Show.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey, buddy! Yeah! You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
You got it! Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go, 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure, I mean, you being a mountain climber and all.
Yep.
You probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
My little girl hurt her foot and needed a doctor.
fast, but her physician wasn't available, and I wanted her seen as soon as possible. Then I remembered the Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care, right in downtown Wheeling at the Stone Center on Market Plaza. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, the center is ideal if you have a sudden sickness or injury. The doctors and nurses were great, and they also provided x-rays, a pharmacy, and lab draw station. No appointments needed, and convenient parking is nearby. Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care. They'll take good care
For
of you.
all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
The weather will affect you every day, whether it's good or bad. The Storm Tracker 7 weather team is here to make sure you're never surprised. You can trust us to help you plan your day.
36 degrees here in Wheeling.
On TV, online, on your phone, our experienced meteorologists are here to help you prepare for what's ahead. Watch the Storm Tracker 7 weather team with Zach Petty, Aaron Myler, and me, Dr. Dave Walker. Weather coverage you can count on, working.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Now's a great time to go Toyota for reliability, value, and style. And RAV4 is the #1 selling SUV in America over the last year, with available all-wheel drive in gas or hybrid models. Now, get up to $1,000 cash back from Toyota through March 1st. For more offers, shop Toyota's official website for deals. Buyatoyota.com. Then see your Toyota dealer. Go Toyota, and let's go places.
Paint? No. Paramount isn't just paint. It's the #1 paint in overall interior hide and stain resistance, providing the most advanced protection in just one coat. And now you can get that same outstanding protection with our new Paramount One Coat White. This first-of-its-kind one-coat ready mix white provides a beautiful white finish. You'll find Paramount paint exclusively at Menards. In third-party tests, interior paint claims versus super premium home center brands in eggshell sheen.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. The entire state of West Virginia saw several inches of snow out of the overnight weather system that moved through the state. The system, almost out of here, should clear the eastern panhandle in the next couple of hours. The National Weather Service has downgraded the winter storm warnings to winter weather advisories across much of the state for the afternoon. Meanwhile, the aftermath of now 3 winter storms is extremely evident in southwestern West Virginia. Shannon Looney lives in Cabell County outside Huntington, hasn't had power for 8 days.
We've spent a fortune in gas for the generator. We're cooking on a camp stove, using the fireplace to heat the house.
And she's not alone. Brandy Alexander and her husband and 3-year-old daughter had to leave their home after the first 2 days with no heat.
I've got a 3-year-old, so obviously we can't keep her there. So we bounced around for a couple of days, and then we finally, since there was no hotel rooms around the landing, which is graduate housing for Marsh University, they have a couple of rooms that they have opened up for folks in our situation. So we are in a little one-room place right now, but it has heat, so we're happy.
Her home is part of an outage that involves only 8 houses, and Looney's home has 14 outages on their circuit. Those smaller outages usually have to wait, and says the larger ones get the attention. Governor Jim Justice earlier today announcing the addition of Mason and Jackson County to the state of emergency declaration that he issued earlier this week for Wayne, Cabell, Putnam, and Lincoln counties. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Toyota today announcing it will invest $210 million to upgrade its existing engine production facility at its manufacturing plant in Putnam County. They will also be adding 100 new jobs, that to increase the assembly capacity of their 4-cylinder engine line. The 100 jobs will create a third shift at the plant to address the growing demand for the company's RAV4 engine production at the Buffalo site. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
He's set the standard for what radio shows should be. Listen to nationally recognized and award-winning radio host Howard Monroe. Weekday mornings 7 to 10 a.m. Only on The Watchdog.
Shaken to the top. The shaking drove his Cadillac. He went cruising down the hill. The wizard was standing on the radiator grill.
When I mention these two names, I'm thinking about a political campaign. Ryan and Josh.
Yeah.
Or Josh and Ryan, J before R, right? What do you think?
Blake Warren 24.
Well, they don't have anything better to do because they're not working, so they decided to join the show. Well, you did work last weekend.
We had a whole weekend of some Naylor hockey down there.
Yeah, and I heard, River City was happy because they had the Valentine's dinner.
Perfect night, yeah.
DJ was happy. He wasn't complaining for once. And, it was good. There were people there. I mean, I don't know how many you were allowed, 800 or whatever?
Yeah, our max is 750.
Okay, well, that's almost a normal night during regular days, isn't it?
During regular days, yep.
But it was a weekend. It was a weekend, and I know the restaurant finally made some money to pay bills, so.
It's great.
They ran out a taco in a bag. I still didn't know what that was till I came down here, okay? But whatever. So, Josh, how have you been?
Good.
Yeah, just good?
Sort of busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to run for mayor, guys? Because I would stop what's going to happen in May. When they tear up the streets, the trees and stuff, and replace them with new sidewalks on the streets and trees. That's going to be crazy, man.
It's going to be a facelift.
Yeah. So I don't know what you guys are going to do about. We were talking. It was like a prep thing, where you park the trucks.
Yeah,
for the concerts,
for our shows, because
why don't you park them in Cleveland and then bring U-Hauls in? I don't know. That's going to be something, Josh.
Yeah, because our semi trucks, when we do any of the Broadways or any of the shows, there's semi trucks parked right in front of the theater, and then we have to load everything down the back alley to the stage door. And if the sidewalks is messed up, and if there's trees, that's not going to work. So we have to really pay attention and be when they start on that section, to make sure we can, because we got to keep our shows going.
Here's what I feel bad about. There's a lot of mom and pop stores on that street. What's going to happen to them? Am I going to be able to stop by Muggs to get a cup of coffee because I park on the sidewalk? Make sure the parking lady doesn't see my car and I get a $10 ticket, which I will pay at 999 pennies because they're going to have to count the money again. Now, I used to do that when I wasn't a nice guy, but I'm a nice guy now. But, what am I going to do? What if I wanted to go to the bridge for a great sandwich or something, What happens to these businesses?
I know, it causes problems.
What's going to happen if this starts in May? You still have hockey, right?
We'll still be playing hockey. Yeah,
where are people going to go? They're not going to want to come downtown. We got to convince them. Tell Danny to get helicopters.
Not a bad idea.
They can park at the Highlands, and we'll put them in a helicopter and bring them down to the games.
Land on the top of the arena.
Wow, what a great idea.
Actually, just put people in barge and take them down the river.
Ooh.
What a great idea.
That's how they used to load in from the theater, was the trail, by train.
Yeah.
And then they would load in the back. So I guess we could go back old school.
Ryan,
Sure.
are you the one who took me for a tour and told me about the elevator?
That wasn't me, though. No, but
you introduced me to my girlfriends, right?
Yeah, you.
They're still not talking to me. I tell them how beautiful they look, in a natural, and they just look at me like I'm an idiot. Don't answer that, Lola. So, yeah.
They're women with excellent taste.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just leave it at that. Okay.
Well, just keep talking to them, and one day maybe they'll
tell them to be quiet.
Well, that's like me talking to Lola. She listens, but she never says anything. Well, she does, but yeah, the trains, that would have been unique.
That's very neat.
Was that back in the 20s or 30s or 40s?
20s.
I'm guessing.
20s, 30s.
And then I worry about, what if some of these potential concert people or musical people come in and say, oh, wait a minute, where's our trucks going to park?
Well, that's where we're sitting.
Well, you have a contract, though, there, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't.
If I'm the Rolling Stones, you got a contract.
Well, Rolling Stones are rolling with like 50-some semi-trucks, so we couldn't put them anywhere in the city.
Oh, you can put them from here to Bridgeport. Yeah.
But most of the shows are 2 to 3 semi-trucks.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we can park them down by the Water Street, or sometimes down at the arena. But, it's all going to change.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought we were over this, but, with the outgoing now, not allowed traffic. Well, the bridges look good, and that when it gets done, hopefully they'll find something. But speaking of the mayor, I got to call him. I suffered a concussion this morning, right near the Capitol. I hit this huge pothole. My head bounced like a basketball against the roof. And I swear I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, we hit that.
Yeah.
I mean, I went like that. I go, what the hell?
Yeah.
Well, that's why they've got to do this street.
That's why they got to streetscape it.
Well, what about 70 all the potholes? They just did the roads. And there are people out there in the cold weather putting blacktop in there. Does that make sense?
Well, would you rather have them out there in the cold weather putting blacktop in, or you hitting your head off the top of your car again?
You can only hit my head so many times before I'm out of it, Lola.
No, Bill, I think you've proven that your head is so hard, it can take so many hits, and it's not going to be hurt.
Ryan, open that door and smack her, will you, please? Yeah.
Josh, you stop it.
I wouldn't do it. No, because you've hit me before, so I know. I know.
She hits hard for a young lady.
When we used to do Thrills in the Hills, we'd sit right back there for 4 days straight or 3 days straight, and I would get slapped if it was too loud.
What do you expect from Michigan? Okay.
Wow.
Big city girl.
Voter fraud is what I expect from Michigan, but we can get there. We'll leave it alone.
I like the idea of boats. Bring the people in by boats. Where would they get on at? On both ends of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
hop on.
They get on at the. Well, yeah, I guess they would get on.
Hey,
Come down
I
to
know what you
Harrisburg.
can do. What do you need, 700 fans? Bring in that big boat. It's a bigger boat. The Queen Mary or whatever it is. What is it? Queen Elizabeth? What is it?
Yes.
Because I took a tour in it once.
It's
That would
Queen
sit
Mary.
700 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
It would fit more than 700 people.
Then, we can make River City some money. Each customer, they have to pay X amount of dollars to be on the boat. We'll give them a taco in the bag. Okay?
Oh, you're a genius.
Yeah.
That's good.
Some fried bologna and Mountain Dew. And Lola's favorite drink, it's not beer, moonshine. Lola's got to have
needs a little shine in their life.
the real shine, right, Lola? Not what you can get in the liquor store.
Not what you buy commercial.
You've had real shine?
Yes.
Okay.
Bill.
No wonder she's so dizzy, but we won't go there. Anyhow, you like how we get along?
I love it. It's my favorite thing about this.
Yeah, that's why we're the odd couple. All right? If it was Sonny and Cher, I would probably be Cher, because I'm taller than Lola. No, I'll stick to Sonny. I'll take a whipping. He, by the way, owned that company, so Cher ought to be happy that Sonny took care of her financially, but whatever, that's another commentary. But, what if we were perfect? The show would suck. Now it doesn't suck so much, Because we talk about strange things. We like sports and stuff. We like arguing. We get into movies and stuff. By the way, Josh, you'll be here for our oldies calendar, okay? You're going to have to guess the ages of some people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right? So we had 3 hockey games. Now they're away for a while, right?
Now they're away this weekend.
Yeah.
We come back next week, and then we have the Mountain East basketball conference. It's coming the first week of March.
I understand there might be outlying schools like Wheeling University, West Liberty will have first-round games. How come they're not having all the games at the West Banco?
Oh, yeah, they'll be playing the first couple games at campus, at the campuses.
And then the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals will be... Is that a 2-day event or 3?
4-day.
4-day event.
So there'll be Thursday will be women's quarterfinals, Friday will be men's, and then Saturday will be the semifinals, and Sunday will be the finals.
Okay.
And and right now we have the same attendance, 15%, 750 people. And this will be the first time a lot of those teams have even had fans, I think, to any game this year. I don't think they've had fans to any.
No, none of them, not in the MEC.
Yeah, so this is the first time that mom and dad can even see their kid play.
Yeah,
this year.
I was reminded last night by my stat guy, who's like Lola, makes fun of me, but that's okay. I'm an old like guy, and I can take it. Bill, you don't really need a mic to do the PA. That's right. I say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I say good evening, all you cutouts. By the way, cats and dogs not allowed on the hard court. Because we got pictures of dogs and cats with their owners, which is unique.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
My dog is one of them.
And, you know, I know I'm crazy, but not stupid, but when I get to a game early, I sit with the cutouts and I talk to them.
I know my dog has complained to me many times.
And when you look at these people, it's like they follow you wherever you go, the way the picture is taken, you know? I even talked to the president yesterday, all right?
Did he talk back?
Well, she did talk back because she came to the game after I talked to her being a cutout. You know, but I think I didn't have anything else to do. There were 6 dog cutouts, 3 cat cutouts.
And one baby.
And one beautiful baby, yeah. Yeah. But you
My
know what?
nephew. It is.
That's a great idea. Why didn't you guys think of that? I told you 3 weeks ago. Tell Denny, get cutouts in there to go with the fans. It looks like there's 7,000 people there. Charge $25 a piece.
That's all Wheeling University charged was, instead of like the NFL and stuff, they charged $100.
Yeah.
You know, $25, it goes to the school to offset the lack of ticket sales.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And pay for the 4 employees like me to work the games. It's really strange doing a game without fans. Next Saturday is West Liberty. You know, in the old days, it'd be packed, you know? But, you know, but hopefully everything will be okay. And was it March, what's the date, March 17th, 18th, 19th?
18th.
18th.
No, it's March 4th. It's the March 4th to March 7th.
Couple of weeks away?
Yeah, we're only 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there, yeah.
Well, and everybody should remember too, this is not, you can't buy a pass that will get you to every game.
No,
Every game is separate, and everybody has to leave after the game,
And come
then
back.
they allow people to come back in. So,
Yeah, price per game.
yeah.
Well, you got to make some money, man.
Well, no, it's about being able to clean.
Yeah.
and
Well, that's,
stuff.
yeah, because we got the turnaround time.
Yeah, we'll all have lots of jobs that weekend. We'll go from being an usher to a door guard to a maintenance staff to be concessions. We'll do whatever we can to make sure it goes off without any problems.
I won't be working the mic, but, you know, I'm going to volunteer to maybe help with the media or whatever, you know. I'd like to serve the food. You know, one plate for you, one plate for me, you know. Sneak Lola in, take home a doggy bag. Yeah, I'm thinking.
Well, there's no hospitality this year. I don't think.
What do you mean no hospitality?
They give you some water. I don't think.
Usually generations or somebody has a big pot. Oh, that's right, because of COVID-19.
Lots will be different, but
Maybe I'll work for Jason.
go for it.
There you go.
I'll volunteer. I'll help make. Can I make a taco in a bag, Lola?
Bill, if you can't manage to throw a bunch of stuff in a Frito bag, I don't know.
Oh, I can do that? Well, let's put some Cheetos in there, some Reese cups in there. There you go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
See, I know, he could screw that up, you know?
Yeah, I'd
He
It's just
forgets
sad.
something in it, you know. Put everything else but the taco meat.
Yeah.
From
But
hitting your
that's-
head a little too many times there, Bill.
Don't laugh, Denny. I mean, Ryan. Sorry. Sorry, Denny, if you're listening. You haven't been on the show for a long time, so I'm going to take a cheap shot at you. You deserve it. Your picture's not worth anything, I found out. Anyhow, what was I going to say, Ryan? That's a big seller.
For sure.
And the sticks with the cheddar cheese, it's
Oh, yeah,
good,
pretzel
you know?
sticks can't beat it. Yeah, go along with the beer.
Well, that's good, because it's still local companies working. You know?
That's what's great about the arena. All of our outside vendors are all local
yeah.
vendors.
Yeah,
you know,
that'll be
everyone.
good.
That's something pretty unique about the arena.
Yep, and last weekend was a good weekend for the restaurants and
It sure was.
the games. DJ was happy, so yeah.
Well, it was 2 great games overtime, both full Friday and Saturday overtime
And
games.
I said for the record on Friday, once every couple of years, I'm right. 6 points, give me 4. And they 4 out of 6.
Yeah.
Okay? But I still can't win the Powerball. I win the Powerball, nobody's messing with these streets because I'm buying Wheeling. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Frank O'Brienville? There you go. Lola? I bet I could buy Wheeling for $40 million. What do you think?
No, I don't know how you buy a city.
Everything's for sale, especially in West Virginia and Ohio. Stupidville.
Oh, now, gosh, Bill, you're really being,
Well, $40 million is just for the OVMC.
yeah. Go buy yourself a defunct hospital.
Well, Lola, if you ever need a room, it's on me, babe.
Oh, thanks.
I'll put you in ICU.
As long as we get to keep our lounge, we're happy.
Well, things got to get better, guys. Seriously.
They will, man. They will.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
they will.
I said that, last year. But I guess it's a 2-year thing. I don't know.
Well, that's just the last March. We thought we were going to be rolling in June. We had I mean, everything on the books. I had the Waterfront Wednesdays, everything ready to go, and it just kept on.
Well, you
going
guys
away.
weren't there back then, but I think Howard Monroe was interviewing the guy at the U.S. Post Office. On this date in 1908, postage stamps in coil form were sold for the first time. A penny. How about that? Now, what are they? Forever 55 cents or something? I bought about $100 worth of Forever stamps about 5 years ago. That was a better investment than the thousands of dollars I lost in the stock market. Because I sell them to my relatives I don't like for $1 a piece, you know.
Oh, my God.
You think I'm lying, Lola?
No,
Oh, yeah.
that's the sad thing. We know you're not.
Let's go back to 1953 when I was 2 years old. About 10 years later, I got to see House of Wax in 3D. You know what 3D is, right? Three dimension. Can you do that at the West Banco? Do something in 3D like a movie when you used to have them?
We probably could at the theater at the Capitol.
What do you need, special lens or projector?
Probably a special projector.
Well, you got the sunglasses, so...
Yeah, and the sunglasses.
Yeah. Well, I think the first one was House of Wax with Vincent Price. You ever see it?
No, I've never seen that one.
Okay, all right. In 1953, do you remember Lucille Ball?
I do remember Lucille Ball, yeah.
Ricky! You like that, huh, Lola? That's pretty good. I could have been Lucy and had a ball. Anyhow, Lucille Ball and her hubby-dubby, Desi Arnaz, signed a contract. This is back in 1953, worth $8 million to continue I Love Lucy.
Wow, that's actually surprising. That's a lot of money.
You talk about Bubba Lou. You know where that's coming from? Desi used to call it,
See, she was the brains behind the operation. Seriously.
Yeah.
No, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. Desi could sing and he could be the orchestra leader, but she's the one that had the money rolling in.
She could act, he couldn't.
She was the talent.
Desi couldn't act?
No.
Yeah, you're right. Well, who was the guy that was a neighbor? He drank a lot off the set?
Fred Mertz.
Yeah, didn't get along with Ethel. Did you know that, Ryan?
No.
See what you learned on this show?
He was a drunk.
Yeah, big time.
And when they offered him the contract to be on the show, one of the major stipulations was he was not allowed to drink because he was a really mean drunk.
You notice she knows a lot about drunks.
I
okay,
do.
I'll leave that alone.
I work with several.
Oh, I can't stand you. I mean, I love you.
Yeah, I know.
Boy, I wish I had this name. He was born in 1914. He had one of the worst songs ever played in the top 450s called Slowpoke. All right? We used to play it. Lola said it sucked, and I agreed with her. Pee Wee King. Can you imagine having a kid named Pee Wee?
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Hi, I'm Pee Wee DeFabio. Welcome to the variety show. Pee Wee and Lola.
Still imitate Pee Wee Herman. That was a good imitation to do.
You guys have heard of Yoko Ono, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's celebrating a birthday today. She was John Lennon's widow. I still think she helped break up the Beatles because John listened to her, but that's another commentary. She was born on this day. Well, I'm not going to tell you. Josh, how old is she? It's in the 80s. Pick a guess.
Probably 81.
84.
Lola?
82.
88.
Wow.
Yes.
You're kidding.
No way.
Well, do the math because I did it with my shoes. I ran out of toes. She was born in 1933. Subtract that from 20.
I got to do
21.
Marshall County math.
Okay.
43, 53, 63.
Wow, that's
73,
well.
So she's a good bit older than John then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
She had the best singing voice.
Yeah.
I couldn't beat that.
You know who had a great singing voice? And I bet he played at the Capitol. Dennis DeYoung of Styx.
Yeah, we did 6.
Yeah,
A couple
we did.
times.
Because of his ego, he left the group and didn't really make a whole lot of money. Did you have a favorite Styx song? Mine was Lady, not written about her. Best of Times, not about me and Lola. Come Sail Away, I'd rent a boat to make sure she's sailing down the Mississippi. Or we don't have a Mississippi here, do we?
You can get there.
Yeah, we can get
You'll
there.
get there.
I'll put her on that Queen Mary or whatever that big boat is.
Well,
all right?
Play that while putting people on the boat to come to the arena.
Come sail
On the
away.
streets,
Yeah.
yes.
Babe was a good song, too. He was born 1947. I never figured out what. How about Juice Newton? I think she was at the Capitol. Okay? Or was that the other
Maybe.
Juice, O.J. Simpson, before he did what he did?
The juice.
Yeah. She had a great song called Angel of the Morning. How old is she, Josh? Juice Newton. She's been around. Her real name was Judy Cohen.
Juice Newton.
Juice Newton. Just call me angel
probably
of the morning.
73.
Oh, no. Lola? Way 70s. What is it?
About 78.
No, way below 70s. I'm sorry.
You're kidding.
Probably 63 then.
Yeah, 60s again.
63.
I'm going to say 66.
I'm going to say 68. 'cause it's
Well,
in
you're
front of me.
reading it.
Yeah. Former Pirate Bruce Keeson. He was the one that smacked Frank Robinson in the ass not once but twice in the World Series. Why do I remember that? Because I hated Frank Robinson, and Bruce Keeson was only 19 years old, and he's hitting the guy where it hurts, and the guy was an MVP a year earlier. He's celebrating a birthday today. How about Sybil Shepherd? She was a cutie when she was young. Lola, what was she in that was famous with Bruce Willis?
Oh, Bruce Willis.
That would be Moonlighting.
Yeah.
She was in that.
Sorry.
Sybil, Last Picture Show.
Taxi driver,
Yeah.
whatever.
Last Picture Show.
Yeah.
Was that a good movie? I missed it because it was black and white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Are we done? Nope. Oh. I thought she'd marry me years ago, but I guess I didn't have enough money. TV game show personality, Wheel of Fortune. Who am I talking about? Not named Lola Miller. Can you see
Vanna
Lola
White.
Miller on the Wheel of Fortune? I can't see that. How old's Vanna White today? And you might be surprised.
In her
She's 68.
70s.
No. Ryan?
I said 68.
What'd you say, Josh?
Probably 63.
Ooh, that's close, Lola.
I was going to say 70.
64.
Oh.
Is she still doing the show?
Yes?
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to check her out. I keep waiting for a phone call. But... All right, let's check the oldies songs. The guy from Cannonsburg, Perry Como, had #1 hit in 53, Don't Let the Stars Get in Your Eyes. Okay. Instead, I got Smog that gets in my eyes. 1961, Lawrence Welk. You guys remember Lawrence Welk? A 1 and a 2. No?
Yeah.
Lola remembers Lawrence Welk. Okay. She thought she could play the accordion, but she couldn't do that.
Because you keep bringing it up.
Yeah, well, hey. #1 song was an instrumental called Calcutta. I'd like to do it, but I don't do instrumentals. 1969, when I graduated from high school, Everyday People by Sly and the Family Stone. Good song? Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Touch Me by The Doors. #2. Did you like that, Lola, the beginning?
Oh, yeah, Bill.
Yeah. I wrote this song for Lola, and I sent it to the Foundations. They're an English group. Build Me Up, Buttercup. Instead, it's Build Me Up, Reese Cup.
Yeah.
Boy, am I loaded today, huh, Lola?
Oh, you're loaded.
And I haven't had a shot of Fireball.
Baloney.
All right. This never happened to me because I didn't have one lover, let alone two. #1 song was Torn Between Two Lovers. There you go.
That sounds
Well,
like
you
your
got two
statues.
women at the Capitol right now.
Yeah, the statues.
But Lola, you don't understand. We can't go out because they won't talk to me. They won't come to my house because they won't fit through the front door.
Well, that's your fault.
But I got a
you
picture of them.
chose wrong.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about them right now.
Why don't you go sit between two cutouts?
I might go up to the bridge and have a cheeseburger and walk in and have my lunch looking at the girls. Saying, I'm down here. Come and talk to me. All right. Big Rick, on the Big Rick Show, all I know, he's big and he's informative. Big information coming from Big Rick on the station with a lot of information and a lot of BS. That's my degree. Lola, I'll see you next week.
You don't see the writing on the wall. Passing by, moving straight ahead, and knew it all.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1.
The ABC
AM
News is brought to you by
1600
Thomas Auto.
WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Texas working to get power restored across the state. About a half